Hey kids, this is Ivan. How you doing? I want to do a hopefully short video on a topic I've talked about, I guess, years ago, and that's verisimilitude in injuries when you're gaming in D&D or any other game, and my personal preference, because after all, this is a channel about me and my preferences. um, and, I talked, recently about everything just being D&D, tongue in cheek, about a kind of continuum that you have a preference on, or you can have a preference on in terms of how much do you want the mechanics of the game to simulate everything down to the finest detail, versus abstract representations of the world or what's going on. And of course, one of the classic examples of abstract representation of something like injury is Dungeons and Dragons hit point system, which a lot of other games have used something similar to that. And the flip side would be that would be like any number of games where they have a very precise, like hit location, and either number of points allocated to each body part, or maiming tables. I remember when maiming tables, I forget what they were called, maybe they were called maiming tables, came out in Dragon magazine, and we were kids, we were all like, wow, that's so cool. And then we realized that that's less cool, because now Gork the fighter has a permanent limp because his leg got cut off, and we had to put a peg leg on him. I played in one game, Queen of the Demon Web Pits, no lie, where character had their leg cut off. I think we used a maiming table, and so I used a heal spell, and the judge ruled it would be okay to graft the leg of one of the Type 1 demons to this guy's leg. So now he had a chicken leg. Pretty cool. But anyhow, for me, I don't like that much realism when it comes to injuries. And it's simply because in real life, injuries due to anything, and I've been injured before, so I have a bit of experience. They're horrific, and they're very debilitating. And, should you get hit by a mace, in the arm, your adventuring career is over. And, or at least it might be over for a year and a half. I broke my elbow pretty severely, in 2009, and it was a year and a half recuperation from that injury. It's not something I'd like to repeat. So, less than fun for me, unless you want to have a character that's maimed and then takes a year or so off of game time. So I prefer, for me, the really abstract hit point system that something like D&D uses. And I've always kind of had this inkling, and some people have said it better than I have, and said it better after I did a hit point video a long time ago, what hit points are. And to me, they're either the mojo or scratches or the willingness to fight, or whatever, until you get down to this last hit point, and then you're really actually, honest to God, injured. So I like that abstract system. And even then, after that, do I want to get super uber realistic on what's the healing time for this guy once he's been given a wound which he has to recuperate from because he's at 0 hit points or -1, or whatever system you like to use. To me personally, I'd rather not do that because it becomes less fun. Although something like Dungeon Crawl Classics little table of critical hits and what happens there, I kind of find a little entertaining. I may have to start incorporating or play that game, and maybe may steal some of those for my own game. But I want to be really careful with how mechanically they affect people. How severe they are mechanically. Although I really dig the one where you get hit and it drives the cartilage into your brain and you lose something like D4 points of intelligence permanently. That's kind of entertaining. But that's my personal preference for it. If you like a really detailed and really simulationist method of injury, have at it. I just personally prefer the abstract representation of something like hit points or health or stamina or whatever the game says it is. And that's my personal sweet spot, because I don't want to emulate that part, because honestly, you get hit once in real honest to God combat, you're done. You're done for a long time or forever. So that's it. And we're not going to talk about getting infected and septic and dying that way. So that's my take on it. If you like something different, let me know, or just keep it to yourself. This is my channel. Have a good day.